The skeleton key lies on the stairs. I should have been a little prepared. Picked up the key, opened the door. Don't have the clue what I am in for. There's a boy on the counter, cut up in pieces, still making sounds. He's barely breathing. I'm not a doctor, I can't make him better. All I can do is try to put him together. He's made of staples and broken bones, bruises and tatters, stories untold. If I had a wish, I'd be making whole. He's barely alive. I'm gonna call him mine. I'm gonna call him a breaking fine. Trapped and bleeding from inside. I'm gonna call him mine.
Okay, again, another Frankenstein monster of a stream. So relying on this to lead into it. So let's just get started with this.
Hi, I'm Peter, the chief.
Don't know how I feel about this particular thing that I'm about to show, but it just strikes me as a little bit weird and a bit gauche. So not gonna give it a thumbs down or up, but I'm really conflicted about this because it does speak volumes, but the way she frames it comes off a little bit weird. I mean, not ratchet it up a notch to really go into it.
State the obvious, which is this is a very touchy and difficult topic to cover in a video in the first place, but I want to do my best because I think that this is important to talk about for other creators out there that might be going through something similar or might be going through a big struggle in their life. It's unfortunate to
Okay, she gives the proper framing. Death of this mangaka speaks volumes. I haven't gotten through all of this, but just on the surface level, it seems like definitely a weird approach to one of these the adapter of a live action manga isn't respecting the particular manga-kun. There's just so much out there that's hard to really determine if it's a factor or not. I mean, this is a really sad story. Let's see what sort of references she gives this particular thing.
have to do this right after a happy holiday has just passed, but it is fairly recent news. The creator of the manga, Sexy Tanaka-san, was found dead recently, and it seems like it was a suicide. I believe they found a note. Of course, it's still being investigated, but it looks like all signs are pointing in that direction. Now, obviously, we already know, or at least most people, most weebs, like myself, know that mangaka out there do not have exactly very exquisite working lives. It's more so just a pure passion of what they do that leads to their work being very well done and leads to chapters being uploaded very quickly in the manga universe. It's just the fact that they're very passionate about what they do. But working conditions, pay, not...
Yes, the competitive nature of the field also is a big factor. Okay, deadlines. I mean, I don't know if that's that in its case, but I think this is a weird framing to start with.
so much up there, and that can cause a lot of stress, especially with the crazy deadlines that they have for a lot of new manga
Okay, yeah. Crazy deadlines.
out there. And sometimes people can get very crushed underneath that pressure, and normally they just, take a sick break when they're feeling down on their luck, but sometimes it gets a little bit out of hand. There's no actual confirmed reason why the mangaka would have committed suicide at this time, but she did make it public not too long before the suicide.
See, this is where I hate the exact framing of this particular video. We don't know, but she did make this thing known. Like she's hinting at this sort of adaptation. I mean, yeah, it sucks that the creative control gets taken out of the controller's hand, but this is almost very accusatory.
That she was having a lot of frustrations between the live action adaptation of her manga, basically complaining that the network behind the live action adaptation were not staying true to their promises. So she agreed to go with this live action adaptation for the following rules. Stay faithful to the manga, which is a big rule, of course, everybody knows. The drama's original ending must have its own ending. The original author will prepare everything from the synopsis to the dialogue, so It doesn't affect the future of the still unfinished manga, and please do not change anything prepared by the original author. So basically, these rules are to keep the control in the hands of the author, which is what the author to have as much control of it as possible. They would send her back scripts that were edited to be completely different from what she wrote in the manga or what she wrote on the scripts. Characters with strong personalities were changed to a different character who are far removed from the original. Scenes that I had carefully depicted as the core of manga, such as attempted sexual assaults, day-after pills, the difficulty of men's lives, long dialogue between these two characters are drastically cut or deleted and not depicted properly. When I asked them,
I would see, I can understand some of this adaptation here. Them wanting to cut out sexual assaults, days after pill. Maybe they shouldn't have just attempted to adapt this. Okay. Too hot for live action and dialogue.
of the manga series that she had portrayed, she would want to stop the live-action adaptation from being made. And she stated all this publicly. Everything here was public. So
Maybe it was a hit job and not really. Okay, let me not joke about it. It's a serious thing. Okay.
there's this constant back and forth between the network submitting her back a script and then her submitting back an edited script and then back and forth,
Yeah.
kind of pushing against two visions of what this adaptation fairly quickly. And it kind of seems like they were trying to wait her out, or they were just trying to exhaust her to the point of her just like giving up trying to work with them. And at the end of this public rant that she kind of went
Why couldn't she just pull out? Okay. Did she need the money or anything? There's just so many unknown factors.
on talking
Raymond's
about
so
how
horrible
frustrating
here.
all of this was, she says, I understand some of you may have been dissatisfied with the scripts for episodes 9 and 10. To be honest, I still don't know what the best decision was. Once again, I'd like to offer my sincerest apologies. And then all of these statements, all these tweets, were deleted. Instead posting, I didn't mean to attack you. Sorry. Who she was specifying when she says, I didn't mean for this to be an attack. I'm sorry. I assume it was the script writers or the network, all the people behind the live action production. I assume she's talking about those people saying, oh, I didn't mean to like
Or she could have had personal problems that was sort of being transferred into her life. I mean, this is just a lot of assumptions being wrapped up into this. I just feel like using a suicide to really push this sort of a idea that the studio and all the stress they put her through. Yeah, I'm sure that was a major factor on that. She seemed like she wanted a very tight control on it, and maybe she wasn't. Yeah, let me not even do it. But I just hate this sort of a assumption of these sort of things.
insult you guys by saying that your scripts were bad. It's just not what I wanted. So I can only assume that they probably contacted her directly, probably gave her a piece of their mind, and then she deleted the tweets.
I can only assume they probably. Sorry, I know people want to think the worst about these particular people when they're disregarding the original creator control, but they are also dealing with a lot of red tape. And just to clarify, I'm not sure if this is right or not. Okay, I just really hate this sort of thing. I'm glad no one else picked up on this narrative that I've seen out there.
And just that was her final tweet right there. Now I will say it's not exactly advised when you're working with an adaptation of your manga, of your comic or whatever story, to talk bad about the production of the adaptation before it's released. In fact, some contracts do not allow you to do that. Otherwise, you could be in some trouble. And I don't know if maybe they threatened her with some sort of action there.
Like, I don't know if they threaten her, but that's going to be the implication that she's going to put to this. Okay. Sorry, maybe everything she's saying is correct. I just hate this sort of broad scale assumption no matter what. Even if I do feel bad that this creative person trying to adapt her story, why did she need to adapt her story? Did she need the money? There's just so much unknown.
I'm not entirely sure, but something definitely set her off at that point and led to her deleting all of the tweets. They did release statements kind of talking about how saddened they are about her death and everything. And now they have an approval for the script, so they're going ahead with the series. But this is not the best way to start off a live action series, I gotta say. I think you have
Okay, I can agree with it. It definitely is a cold, hard business of entertainment. Okay, sheesh.
driven away all of the fans at this point once they find out that this happened. I mean, really, probably better to cancel. What's also interesting is there was an interview with the Manga Artists Association president.
Better to cancel. Okay, there's money sunk into this. It depends on this. She's going from the perspective this is not what the original author wanted, so they should just cancel this. Get people out of work. There's just so many unknown elements. I think this is way too presumptuous.
Mangaka of Celestial Rainbow, if you've ever heard of that. They said, I don't know Miss Ashihara directly, but based on her comments on social media, I can tell how seriously she.
Why is everyone who does not know this woman speaking up for her? Sorry. Just listen and believe, I
Put
guess.
herself into the work. I'm filled with regret. I believe that many manga artists, not only myself, feel helpless that we could not do anything as colleagues. It was an event so.
Yeah, I sympathize for the creatives who want to get their works known through either a live action or anime adaptation. But it's also a powerful marketing push for yourself. And I don't know any of the details of this. Was she unreasonable, or was it the people putting together the project who was unreasonable? Don't know. There's just a certain slant to this that just feels grotesque, skewed in the favor of one particular side.
Painful that I cannot find any words to describe it. And to be honest, I would have refused to do an interview about this case if I could have. However, there may be young people who are suffering alone from the same problem as Miss Ashihara. Please, please, please do not assume that you cannot speak up because you are in a weak position. Please do not be fooled by the illusion that the publisher is more powerful than the author, that the TV station is more powerful than the publisher, or that the sponsor is more powerful than the TV station. I would like young people to be proud and say with dignity, this is what I want, and if you can't do it,
I would find this is just great, lovely words of advice if it wasn't done off of the back of someone else dying. It's like exploiting a tragedy, okay? And you don't even know if it's explicitly linked to this experience. You're just going to assume it. Uh, It's just ethically, it just feels wrong, okay? Using the death of someone, presuming if people came forward who knew this woman, who said, yeah, this is, if there was a suicide note to really give us some sort of indication, evidence that any of this stuff for this sort of push, I'm all for creator right, maintaining right and creativity, creative control, but this just seems like a really despicable way to use a woman's suicide, a fellow mangakon. I don't know. I'm very conflicted about this overall.
refuse to make it into a movie. Sometimes there may be some unbelievable people who threaten you, saying, if you resist, you will never be able to draw again. Please do not be fooled. The production team for a visual work is a long one, but the author of a manga is basically one person. There are many creators who are immersed in the creative world and live by standards different from those of the general public, who are not good at communicating closely.
I mean, this greatly aligns with the panel I was on earlier, the Kiddet panel, the one guy who came on to Steelman for the director or writer of Madam Web, just giving her a pass because you should understand all these pressures. And yeah, fundamentally, I agree and understand the pressures outside. But if you don't give us examples, we don't really know who's at fault here. And just assuming the fault is within the big. Yeah, I want to blame the people with the money. I want to blame the people with the power. That's only natural as people and the small little mangakon. But personal responsibility and not trying to levy this based on this. Maybe I'm completely out of my depth on this one. It just seems fundamentally ethically dubious. Okay. But there's a lot of words here that probably would be very suggestive. Also, be like, be careful about becoming a mangakun, however you pronounce that word. And because it's a tough business, like going into, I had a friend who had a going into video game marketing, trying to make video games. It's a tough market nowadays. It's a very cutthroat business trying to make it into the video game scene.
with others, consulting with others, or making suggestions. That is why we hope that publishers will protect and support each and every mangaka. So now what's my take on all of this? Well, I think a lot of mangaka out there, all they live for is telling their story because they're so passionate about it. It seems
And this is very freaking naive, okay? This is a very rosy tint, glassed eyed view of this. Yeah, maybe there is a lot like that. Maybe a lot of people are passionate about this, but making that broad scale assumption that even the creatives writing this don't feel that way, be able to adapt this properly. If it was America and Hollywood, I would be way more on board, but I don't know enough details about who's doing this live action. Okay, it's probably the same thing. So I probably shouldn't give the benefit of the doubt to any of this. It's just there's so many unknowns. It's just hard to feel that this is something that should be pushed.
seen as the top priority of their life. But the problem is when you only live for one thing, the moment something goes wrong with that thing, it's like your whole world is crashing down around you. If you don't have other outlets of support,
Okay, I can definitely go with it. There's no one to speak on this woman's behalf. A total stranger, a peer maybe, has to speak up for her. No family, no friends, really, or are they being excluded from bounding into comics? Figures who would be bounding into comics. I can't fault them for going with this. So, sheesh. Okay,
you have
let's
nothing
continue
to
that.
fall back on when something goes wrong. And I think that is a big problem that people don't consider when they dedicate their life to their work. I would never knock down someone who works extremely hard and makes something beautiful from their hard work. In fact, I encourage more people to go out there and do that. Living for your manga is one thing, but also live for your friends, live for your family, live for your favorite cafe place or your favorite series that it's going to end soon and you can't wait to see the ending. Live for amusement parks and video games and other fun things. Make sure that your life is filled with fun things and people who care about you and who will be there for you to support you when you're having rough times like this mangaka clearly was. I know people out there, when their greatest passion in life, something goes wrong with that, they feel like it's the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. It's just a temporary downslide. It'll pick up again. You just have to hold out for a little bit. That this happened, but I want other people out there to know, even if it feels like your world is crashing down before you, there are place and all your clothes are on the floor, and every day move the clothes. Just procrastinate and leave it there so that you'll prolong your stress.
Clean your room, basically, JP. Clean your room, get your life in order. Okay, brace the chaos. I guess there is some sort of framing in there, but she's ending it
Do
on
something
just
about it.
life
Actively
advice.
try to keep yourself mentally healthy.
I'm also very skeptical about these positive affirming words of inspiration to people, but I'm a cynical, jaded old geek.
Because it is important. It is important happy into the world. And I know that this is not the most happiest of videos, but hopefully I can just make some of you a little bit more aware. So I think I'll leave it here for now. Thank you guys.
Oh yeah, it just feels very odd, and I'm just pressing X to doubt on this particular matter. It just really feels horrible to look at it in this particular manner. Sheesh. Let's see. Let's not freaking go to a freaking. Let's see if there's any more on this. Okay, let's not just take a bounding into comics. They're definitely going to push a freaking agenda. Let's go get more perspective on this particular matter here, because there's definitely, you can never have enough information, and being skeptical, not necessarily a bad thing. Okay. Pop this on. Found a few articles real quick. I think, let's see if there's going to be anything more to really go with. Okay. Let's just share it. Uh, Pop on. Okay. Good article. Pop it here. Okay. Drama. Okay. Okay, we're going in exploring sexual Japanese relationship, sex economy, two examples. Okay, I don't even know if this covers this. Yeah, tragic death. Okay, month after wake of loss, fans are pointing fingers at NHV and her publisher. Okay, for failing to stay true to the author's original vision. Another okay, that's everything. Manga, don't need to know the details of that. Some nice artwork. Changes. Okay. Splash on TV. Okay. Still this all the same stuff. Everything is really put out there. We created a adaptation by asking the original author's opinion through her publisher and broadcast her program, creating a finalized script with the author's consent. Comment X, according to press, blah, blah, blah. Screenwriter not involved. Was the screenwriter not involved in revisions? Statement from the script should faithfully follow the manga. News to screenwriter said on Instagram that she was shocked when she read Asha Hasha blog about what she experienced. That was the first time I heard about that. When I read it, I was speechless. What is true? What should I believe? Asha also apologized for his post that seems to take swipes. I deeply regret and reconsider my post on social media. I should tread it more carefully. Controversial. Okay, bringing up Mars adapted. Yeah, should have actually went over this, but Frankenstein of a stream. There's really not much actually here. It looks like, ooh, beautiful. Okay, variety. Let me just post this after this. Okay, nothing new. A little bit more data about the screenwriter, 50-year-old manga artist. I'm just gonna skim this real quick. Yeah, I guess I'll put it on. Let me not be stingy. You can at least see it. It's rehashing. I just didn't think about this beforehand, which I probably really should have. Okay. All this stuff. And look at all these Screen Actor Guild Awards live on Netflix. God. Swear, look at all this. All these things plastered here. It really doesn't give you any more content. Wednesday, Asher family issued a brief statement through, we have lost our beloved family member and are in a state of bewilderments. It said before explaining that they would not be accepting media requests for comments. So there's really not enough information to really go on. The family aren't speaking out about it. So she does have a family. What's the extent of the family? Yeah, I think. Yeah, okay. Definitely feels rather exploitative to for articles to actually go into this particular matter. Bound in it. I mean, there's all a whole bunch of stuff. It apologized, the studio who did it. Okay, any more? I mean, this is sort of weird to really go into this. Otaku. No, here's the right one. Okay. Okay, here we go. At the stage, here we go. Not bound in the comics, but pretty much the same point. Yeah, plenty of all. It's just, yeah, older one about when it's published. Okay, not much there. Sorry, folks. Nothing to see here. I really think people shouldn't jump the gun and exploit someone's suicide when they don't know about it. Yes, and definitely fans of the series definitely will jump on it, but you don't need to add fuel to the fire when you really don't know what's going on. The stupidity of people out there. Okay, got that big thing out of the way. Let's get into the slightly less stupider thing, in my opinion. I could use that or something different. Let me bring up both just to be safe on the safe side. And let me present trollish, the trollish anti-woke side, I guess. John Delarose, covered him before. I'm glad he covered this. I didn't exactly catch this when it was first coming out. Let's see his particular perspective. Then we'll get the big man himself, John Green, who will sometimes take a stand against the stupidity of stuff like Wheel of Time, but probably not as much as he should. We'll see his take. This is much shorter, anyways. Make sure it's sped up. Probably best I can do.
On the World Science Fiction Convention, going down in flames as they eat
Thank God he didn't plug himself for once. Thank you, John Delarose. That's always annoying when you become a jackass. And
their own. We have a very, very funny report over the last several days where some information about the last Hugo Awards in Worldcon China, that of course, never expected to have problems in China of all places, has created a major controversy with people like Neil Gaiman even chiming in on it. Absolutely crazy. We're going to get into the news in just a moment. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator.
Oh, okay.
Happens when you deemed ineligible by the Worldcon committee. Now, they just marked that it's ineligible under the rules. They didn't state why. Of course, that's what's happened ever since the lawsuit with me, when they actually said why I was banned. They called me a racist bully. And of course, that, made me able to sue them.
No, you're just a hash-holish troll. Okay.
If they stated why, that there was some political problem or whatever, and it wasn't true, these people might be able to sue or whatever. So all these companies now.
Yeah. Sad Puppies, I think, would have been much better if they would have at least pushed back against the left instead of taking a strong conservative lean. They learned from their ways, but the left hoisted hell, the right had their infighting in this between Larry Cornell, Monster Hunter International, which was a shit book I could not watch it. I could not get through that book. Okay. But I hear he gets better later on. Little bit of a power fantasy. Nothing wrong with that, but you got to take the good with the bad and you get the facts of life.
Now, and all these places like Worldcon now go, nope, we're just not telling you. We're just doing it, and we're just playing by our rules. Refer to the terms. Refer to the terms of service. Yes, but which terms of service today? Refer to the terms of service. That's how they do things. It's all a big liability game at this point because none of these people actually have points about anything that they're doing. They don't actually have dialogue. They don't actually want to resolve issues. They just want to make their decision, and of course, have you live by their rules all the time. That's what another lady.
I can't disagree. I hate his fucking framing and how he puts things, but I can't disagree fundamentally. I mean, there is the sort of poison in the well with calling people Nazis. His particular case, which he won, no matter what I think about him, he won his case. That's definitely a win. They labeled him as all sorts of things. He won according to him, he won the defamation case. I don't think he would lie about that. Maybe he did, but I don't think that should have been something that's done.
So a lot of this stuff doesn't get attention because of that. Well, Neil Gaiman took exception to it. Of course, there's N.K. Jemisin and her woke award, holding it very phallic a few years back. Here he goes. He says, is there anyone who could actually explain why Sandman episode 6 was ineligible? I don't recall any politics in the episode. It was SFR fantasy and had not been previously released. And if Sandman 6 was ineligible, then why didn't that reinstate Sandman as a whole series, given it was ineligible as there were too many votes for individual episodes? Well, somebody chimed in here, says, the only statement from the administration team I can share is the one that I already have. After we reviewed the Constitution and rules we must follow, we determined...
Okay. Story of the story. They tried to co-op with the Chinese and got screwed over for it. It's really disappointing to see Neil Gaiman. All the other like John Stasi. I'm
Here's
surprised
for
he's not
thee
putting
and
this
not
in
for
it.
me with these people. But here Neil Gaiman goes and whines even further about it. I've been peripherally involved in the Hugos for the last 37 years. I've been awarded multiple Hugos and failed to win just as many Hugos, and never worried nor gave it a moment's thought. Gosh, for never giving it a moment's thought, he's certainly concerned about this at this point. It's obvious
Yeah.
that he just wanted to, stir up his accolades, stir up his following, and try to get them to blast these people in order to, get them to apologize for not giving him an award, basically.
Yeah, I'm lazy, so I'm doing this. Other than Neil Gaiman, author RF, whatever that name is, I'm not going to be try to pronounce that. Babel removed. What transpired was even more head scratching as Worldcon moved to place a novelette by John Stasi on the ballot instead. Absolutely shell of a writer. Not the worst writer in the world, but he definitely wins way too much with some really pointing out it's ridiculous that Asian woman was removed for a white man. Yeah, I don't know what this whole thing. Probably should just go to the article, but being lazy. Let's see what big man Daniel Green has to say about this, because he fucking had mixed opinions on Wheel of Time series. All this sort of stuff people are calling woke, which is definitely an overassessment of that word, but just because people overuse it and don't exactly have a precise language for it or knowledge to really explain it does not change the fact it has some
Go ahead and jump right on into
issue.
this, because my oh my, did I think it was actually going to be a kind of slow news week, but then the Hugo Awards just decided to light themselves on fire for us all to see. And I want to be very clear, this is a complex situation that is being somewhat misrepresented online, but is also a worse scandal than those people who are kind of getting it wrong or making it out to be. So let's go ahead and dive on into this. And I'm not kidding, really, to explain what is happening here and unravel this ball situation. And that's usually a very good sign that this is someone who's actually really caring about getting this right. So shout out to them. All of this, of course, linked down below. But let's go ahead and jump back to 2021, where in DC, a vote was held on where the 2023 Worldcon should be held. Now, Worldcon is
Yeah, I don't think Daniel Green also freaking goes over this history of this Worldcon stuff with sad puppies and all the censorship and the power games that are already played. Let's take a quick look. Okay. Let's see. Does he admit the sad puppies at all? Sad puppies movement? Does he even talk about it until it's the sort of progressive side? I mean, there is lies by omission, or John Green. Sorry, that's an author. Daniel Green. What's with all these Greens being so quote unquote woke? Okay. No, probably not. He's not even going into the sort of a sad puppies.
welcome everybody to it
He's definitely
on
a
their own
precursor
human
to
rights
this.
violations, and they didn't do that.
I'm shocked.
Now, in the months leading up to Worldcon, there were continued issues, not only technical difficulties on the actual voting website, but voting was closed April 30th, but the finalists weren't announced until July 6th. And now our scandal that everyone's already talking about online begins, because very large authors who are sweeping other awards were just clearly left off from even being finalists within the Hugo Awards, most notably Rebecca Kwong for her book Babel. Now, some authors do decline nominations.
And for Christ's sakes, a lot of authors got shafted earlier. Even some of the newcomers, like the person who did The Martian, totally got shafted. And I think the 2021 Hugo Awards. And all these people are talking about wokeness in media. I think you really got to look at the source. You understand what you call woke as a fundamental rotting of just ideology, and identified in your own particular tribe, because I've noticed these anti-woke people are acting a lot like wokes, and the tools that were used against the so-called woke authors are being used against them here. The tools that they used against Sad Puppies campaign, which was a more conservative movement that through some sort of fluke or intelligence started pushing just more neutral authors just to try to push things. The whole politics of that I don't want to go into, but The culture, this turtles all the way down. Writing's just one sort of thing. People are talking about sweet baby ink being a problem. Sensitivity readers are out there, and that's been a problem in novel writing for years now. And that's been a known problem. You can sort of graft the problems of one industry onto another. And people who are really cultural critics, I think it personally stupid to take it from that angle. I factor in that cultural element because it does play a factor in the general assessment of media. But a lot of people play up the emphasis of that, and some people just completely ignore it completely and act like it's not a thing. You have to have both sort of factors really to take into account. So let's not look away from what we don't want to see.
especially if it's being hosted in a country like this, but that was not the case here. Normally, within a day, hours after the actual Hugo Awards are held, the full voting statistics are released for the ceremony. That just happened to not happen this time. A Hugo subcommittee member named
This time, sorry, the damn right dishonesty of I believe it was technically the Nebula Awards, or was it another one of it? Maybe it wasn't the Hugo Awards, but it was related to Worldcon. So
Dave McCarty did post to his personal Facebook about this delay, saying, "The detailed Hugo stats are delayed entirely because of my poor understanding of how swamped I was going to be on site. This delay is purely to make sure that I think
Okay,
Constitution this convention bases itself off of says that they must be released within 90 days of the convention. The last possible moment that they were finally put out. I don't know if that's when he was handed them or just when he did they asterisks next to their name and a notation down below that they were simply not eligible. Now, there are other asterisks within here as well saying, oh, the author rejected the nomination, or they were not eligible because the author was a part of the convention and they did not want to have some kind of perceived bias. But for these specific authors, the asterisks just said not eligible. With
yeah, you had it in China. There's a controversy. The Hugo Award winning Three Body Problem had issues with it, with the author sort of co-signing on the Uyghur genocide and not calling that out. A problem you guys had, even though you nominated him. Okay.
with no further detail given. From what I've been able to see, there are at least 2 other authors that have been disqualified and a critic named Paul Weimer. This includes Jirenjie Zhao, who apparently has been deemed ineligible 2 years in a row, though I need to find more concrete information about that. Although,
Yeah, look back. Okay. Selective looking. Okay. Oh,
affected by this is so despicable, in my opinion, from your chairman that do you hear that sound? Its credibility just
yeah, it's been gone for years, Daniel. You don't care. You just care because it's being the buzz in it now. And it's really just this is really freaking sad. It takes them getting hit. And they won't even acknowledge the sort of core rot that's been within Worldcon and the science fiction conventions for practically the last decade. Gamergate sort of overshadowed the sort of movement of sad puppies. But anyone who wants to know about cultural war, it might have started in novels beforehand. And frankly, I'm an advocate for trying to test things out novel wise. Like, I don't know why Star Wars did not actually adapt, try to improve upon the extended universe novels. They wanted to make their own ways when they had something very well approved that they could have used as a basis for the Star Wars series. And I got a little bit thing that I want to include before I wrap this all up.
including a number of people and works deemed ineligible without further explanation. As it so happens, I am one of those people who are deemed ineligible. I had the 3rd highest number of nominations, but on the long list, I got a asterisk that says ineligible without any further explanation. I have
Leave it to the Chinese. Okay. Why are you surprised about
There's no
that?
entity that evaluates subjectively the suitability of the site. In order to be able to vote on the site of the Worldcon 2 years from now, you have to join the current Worldcon as at least a WSFF member, which costs around $50 US.
Yeah, they flooded the market originally by a lot of these so-called woke authors flooded the market with their own fans to sort of rig things, and they couldn't even do that properly.
These days. And then you also have to cast a vote in the election. Several thousand people joined Worldcon 2021, mostly from China, and voted in the last
Yeah, the rules used against you are being used against you now that it's in China. Okay, this is just the biggest fu to the Worldcon committee trying to rig the rules in their favor when you have a more crafty authoritarian government within their grasp where you can't just shut it down. They have control because it's in China, so you can't really shut this shit down. You want to make a big fuss about it? Why didn't you make a big fuss about it when it was the other side?
few days before the voting deadline in 2021. The administration of the Hugo Awards is entirely in the hands of the current Worldcon committee for that year, as others have noted. There is no entity held at published time. It can hijack the rules and sell away the store. But a massive glaring issue in this process has just been brought to light. An individual...
Oh, oh God. This is like epic levels of ignorance. Let me take a look at the comments. Okay, this is almost a waste of time. Is anyone going to bring up any of this crap? I mean, I'm really far behind on this. I'm not seeing anything. Yeah, I only saw the RF Kong post, bit loss, reputation, down with receipts. It's always been a joke. Okay, it's only when the Asian author gets sort of shafted and not the not the group of more conservative people pushing a more nonpartisan movement. Yeah, 8 years ago now, maybe even 10 years. Gamergate. See, ignorance. Okay, no one cares about learning from the past. And the tools you use, see if there's anyone. Okay, here's someone. Hugo Awards have become woke. Okay, this is a little bit crap. Okay. Not even going to bring up this happening. You see, even people who are like, yeah, it's woke, not even bringing the... Yeah, see, I remember growing up that the Hugo Awards was a book worth buying. Not much, few decades. I would say the last decade definitely took a substantial hit. Not anymore. The Sad Puppies episode proved just how corrupt the award process was, and the banning of conservative writing was the final straw. You're now whining because you're allowed a communist police state to host Worldcon. Are you expecting something different? Insanity at its best. I like that comment. Okay. This one, no. There's no knowledge in that. You got to acknowledge, even if you don't agree, completely irrelevant. See, so many people completely unaware of the past. You have to know the past so you don't repeat this. See? Da 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 da. So many people. Hugo Awards is still a thing. It really is. So sad. Too bad. Yeah, China really sucks, okay? And 3 Body Problem has issues. Gonna eventually... Yeah, okay. This award has clearly been a fake award since... Okay, some people are sort of bringing it up. Did the Hugo Awards get comedy puppied? Okay. See, this is a guy since 1990. Okay, personal, subjective, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, at least a few people are bringing up. Not any of the top comments, mind you. Okay, none of this can be found in the sort of top vote. It's called... See if I can find any of it here. I don't think I can. Okay. And the top highlighted. Okay, this is the closest one. Been a dumpster fire for a long time. Okay, I didn't bring up the Sad Puppies. But at least the acknowledgement. All award shows are just marketed anyways. I'm making a big deal about this. Then the apology of someone like Daniel Green. The maple syrup line. Truly, truly priceless. Okay, I'm talking about this particular fiction, and maybe this is gonna hurt some people here. But what do we have next? Did I put it close enough? Okay, not gonna really go through this. I think I really covered this in one of my last ones. This one in particular is quite an interesting little side diversion here. But yep, let's do it to it. Another video.
Star Wars fan. I think Jedi are cool. I think the original trilogy are awesome. Prequel trilogy, not as much. And as far as TV series, nothing can top the Clone Wars by Genndy Tartakovsky. That being said, I don't have a lot of investment in Star Wars, and there are certainly going to
Good hook. Good hook. Good start. This man. Crimson Rogue. Okay. Definitely isn't gonna take a stance in the culture war. A little bit here and there. He had a video.
be references in this book that I do not catch. Now, I was always more of a Trekkie myself. I used to watch Next Generation growing up with my dad. It was a good bonding experience. A lot of fun, good stories. Picard was
Yeah, actually progressive. It was able to stand the test of time in a more decent everyone is equal way and not acceptable. Frankly, a more robust philosophy thing like Star Trek. It still succumbed when CBS took it over. So you got STD affecting Star Trek. I had a whole conversation about the Picard and the New Worlds, bringing in Christopher Pike, the captain, into STD to try to make it. They did Strange New Worlds, Picard, but they're going to just keep on baiting people, sort of like what they did with The Mandalorian. Had good parts, but overall, a lot of fan service to pull people in and then try to slip in the sort of a really weird abstract writing into it and try to glimmer people so they don't notice it.
an awesome captain. And Star Wars was fun, but I didn't have that same connection to it because of my father. So, there's my bias.
It's fun to wander through the alphabet with you to tell you what you mean to.
Yeah, judge me and Rogue for this particular opinion.
Pounds, but the whole thing, no. And of course, the chosen one is a tired narcissistic trope. I don't know where he's getting narcissistic, unless the chosen one
What?
is supposed to be a self who
Did I
are.
miss
The
this?
chosen one is a tired narcissist.
Okay, Chuck Wendig, the author of this. Okay. Lowe's unpopular opinion shotgun tries to read Lord of the Rings a bunch and couldn't get through it. World building is not a plot. Your book should not read like a RPG. Okay, this is the author.
Trope. Now, it's normally a waste of time to pause to analyze and overlook tweets because you're just sharing quick thoughts.
Yeah, I'm glad he's acknowledging this. I mean, he's sort of poisoning the well here. With this, he's sort of acknowledging it. It's the book, what's contained in the book, but this is the author of the book he's talking about. This is why it's much easier to really criticize a writer of the book when it's a novel and not a big production with so many different sections within it.
And you shouldn't really look too deeply into it. Mistakes are quite common. You don't need to go that far back to find mistakes in my own tweets. But Chuck professes himself a writer, and there is a certain degree of quality that one might expect, if not in the way that he writes tweets, the way that he puts his thoughts out. Now, if he says that he can't get through Lord of the Rings, okay, that's fine. It's not for everybody. Whatever. But
some people would crucify him for that in the geek market. Okay. So fair enough. Crimson Rogue. Everyone's entitled to my opinion.
world building is not plot. Yes, that's true, but that's not an opinion. Your book shouldn't read like an RPG manual. Okay, but Lord of the Rings doesn't. There are certainly sections that you can argue are like an RPG manual. The descriptive passages when the characters run into different groups or stop at different towns. But the whole thing, no. And of course, the chosen one is a tired narcissistic trope. I don't know where he's getting narcissistic, unless the chosen one is supposed to be a self-insert for the author. But there is no chosen one in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not a Mary Sue. Chosen one is hell. That's the Bible. Okay. But yeah, of course, the Bible. Even if you don't believe it to be the word of God, it definitely is one of the greatest stories. The archetype, Superman, is sort of done off of that. You know, the father who sent his son to Earth to save it. There's some variation. but-
Thematically, it does exactly the opposite.
I found it is the small things, everyday deeds of ordinary folk that keeps the darkness at bay. Simple acts of kindness.
Okay, as much as I want to just embrace this video, I'm not here for that. We're talking about one of the people sent in to repair sort of the aftermath, ironic enough, of the sequel trilogy.
And that Star Wars already had in place for it with other books like Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn. And I am reading this one. It's actually pretty good. More on that later. No, this one was completely starting from scratch. You've got episodes 1 through 6, and they've got to lead into episodes 7, 8, and 9. So let's just leave all of our thoughts about the sequel trilogy aside. Does this tell a good story?
No! No! No!
I mean, the tabs alone should tell you. I was so worried that I wouldn't actually have that much
Sorry, that's an in joke. The more those tabs aren't for things he wanted to positively reflect on.
to say about this book. I was so worried that it was just going to be substandard and nothing else. But no, this turned into a freaking gold mine. The other books that I've reviewed in these long form videos, they've had a lot of basic mistakes, from typos to setting errors to continuity errors, magic systems that don't.
Model Land, a book probably written by someone, Tyra Banks. Trigger warnings, I don't remember his review on that. Oh, Empress Teresa, I saw potential in that. This is like a stab to, no, a kick to the balls. Okay. See, I have no clue about trigger warnings. Maybe I should go back. I'm not complete in my Crimson Rogue gallery.
Don't make sense. What Wendig does is he did advanced mistakes. There are so many new lessons I'll be able to teach you guys with just this book. Wendig is unironically the subtext is for cowards guy.
I know writers who use subtext and they're all cowards.
Everything is surface level. They have these interlude chapters that are one of the most baffling writing decisions I've ever come across. I have my own theory on that, but we'll get to that later. You have to get
Yeah, normally, if I'm remembering correctly, this guy normally does not go on this big of a tirade. Well, maybe he did for Ready Player 2, but so we understood.
to chapter 8 before any of the dialogue sounds remotely human. I don't know what Chuck has a harder time with. Dialogue, prose, pacing. Wendig strikes me as the type of guy who thinks that the second draft is for cleaning up a few typos and formatting, and then you're done and ready for publication.
Probably just was a paycheck to him. Okay, he was a name.
A billboard high up in the sky among the traffic lanes suddenly goes to static. Now, one of the problems with this book that I don't like is that it's all written in present tense, which sounds really weird for a story that was set a long time ago. Present tense is one of those writing style.
Okay, nitpick. You get the general gist. This is not a stream to totally chill everything. This is quite a messy stream of mine. So, moral of the story is Star Wars is fucked on every fundamental level. Okay, abandon all hope at its gate. Go do some fanfics, motherfuckers. Make it popular enough that if they don't want to, Disney does not want to give up the IP to other people who will write it, do these films how the fans want, they can outcompete the marketplace of ideas. Make a strong fan base. This is really, gatekeeping is not working. Sorry, folks, it just ain't. We have to beat them. We have to beat the horrible writing, the sort of nostalgia bait that Disney is getting so rampant with better writing, superior stories, and of course, protecting those people. Oh, Disney doesn't like that we did a fanfic? Let's sue them. Defense fund, motherfuckers. Okay, fans unite, motherfuckers. If you really want to take back a particular fandom, get writers to make better stuff. Force the companies to either bend the knee and capitulate with having a part in the writing process or giving up the IP and selling to someone who will serve it well. I'm going to suggest a certain topic to a group of mine. It's not going to be perfect. Rewriting the sequel trilogy. Okay, I don't know if that's going to materialize. I'm going to pitch it to some people I know who are into Star Wars. We'll see how it goes. As I said, I probably lean a little bit more towards Star Trek, but I don't even know what to do with Star Trek at this point. But yeah, moving on with this. Let's end this with a fun little section about the Elden Ring.
This game is so.
Oh God, this is just god awful. I'm gonna have to put it down. Ear rape warning, even if I'm putting this freaking shit down. Okay, there's a group of gaming commentators who I keep tabs on. This seems to be their latest target. Great target. Look at some of these comments before we get into this and start taking this little journey. Journey of 1,000 miles. Okay, I can. I like this comment. Even though I don't agree with you at all, I must admit this video is a piece of art. Great video, my man. Okay, this guy has to be another Young Defiant. Okay, and all these video game commentators are taking the bait on it. So let's get a little bit of sample because this is utter Young Defiant levels of a cringe, but over the top rage bait, it seems like.
Overrated. The fact that you have fanboys go crazy over this game. From Software fans are the biggest fanboys I've ever seen. If they don't calm the hell down for 1 second, I mean, damn, what the hell is so revolutionary about this game? You go around a huge environment that only serves one purpose. Dark Souls, again. Only now it's more open, and suddenly it's different. Are you fucking serious? Let's assess the aspects, people, because I'm having a hard time seeing why people put this game up like it's the coming of Jesus. First off, the combat system is the exact same combat design seen in From Software games. My God! This is repetitive.
That's
Because
not
you
for
played
funny.
Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, motherfucker, you played Elden Ring. Ah! Why am I
Oh,
repeating the
God.
same shit, assets, and animations? Why am I yelling? Well, here's the thing. People claim this game is so groundbreaking. It's so revolutionary. Are you fucking kidding me? What did it even do with its open world design? What did it do new? Even with its combat system. This overused ass combat system that has been utilized in so many games, and now, oh look, it's being utilized in an open world where they don't even do open world shit. You don't have open world activities, freedom, NPCs,
Okay. Watch the video. This really is beautiful. Shouldn't be so down. I'm gonna upvote it. Just it's complete and utter rage bait. Okay, and seems people have taken the bait. It's a beautiful thing. I swear, freaking hilarious. I got tipped off. See, my good old friend Bakukun is a dingus who gives that. It's new. More props to him. He brings up actually British. This no, does he? No, this is the one where he brings up the British potato one. I checked on him. He's still reeling from his horrible take on the Tetris gaming guy that everyone came down on him. I still have his deleted video at the end where he basically like, yeah, I'm quitting YouTube. I sort of cheated on this girlfriend I was dating, and you know, I have this buddy from back in the day. We're gonna run off to Vegas and then be gay lovers. Okay, more power to him, but he came back and issues on top of issues. I don't even want to get into that. But yeah, my good old buddy Thunderstruck. Okay, I don't know if Targon here actually started
My
this
Christmas
sort
and New
of.
Year were pretty good, and it's just left me filled with so much positivity and happiness. But today, we're going to be looking at somebody who's not feeling so positive and happy today. So a few nights ago, I was scrolling through YouTube, and somebody by the name of Tarragon managed to catch my eye with a video responding to Under the Mayo's Act 2 review of Ultra Kill. You know,
The one that happened like a year and a half ago.
and honestly, I thought it was pretty This might be hard to believe, but are you aware nobody gives a shit? Oh, you get your sick.
I really don't know why people just take these guys seriously. You need to you can do responses to these sort of people, but you got to match their energy. Look at my Young Defiant video. Okay, you got to match their energy and just be like, okay, let's pretend, you know, fun, make believe. Let's treat this as if he is being serious and not being a total rage bait. Judah Reno on the internet. Let's pretend like that and have some fun with it. But these people, I swear, so autistic. They can't understand this. Maybe this guy doesn't think he's trolling. Maybe he legitimately has a mental problem. And if that's the case, he should get mental help. I really think this is a troll. I think Bakukun brought that up. Why? You just making yourself look bad, but it's content for your audience, I guess.
Can
I help you?
Liar!
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? This is Tarragon. And today I'm going to be responding to someone who has responded to my Elden Ring harsh critique. And he's kind of pissing me off. Now, look, I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But there's things that you're saying that are just not accurate. So I'm here to lay it down. This is Tarragon. What's going on? Let's begin.
But, that's not the video we're going to be responding to.
Yeah, but to be fair, okay. Maybe Quantum TV has changed people's perspective. This has very Quantum TV vibes. So maybe I'm reading it wrong, but
because I think I found one that's even funnier. The title of the video we are going to be watching is Elden Ring, a harsh critique. Now, he says it's a critique, but really it just amounts to him ranting and raving about how Elden Ring is overrated because it's the same as Dark Souls. So without further ado, let's see why this man has such a massive problem with Elden Ring.
This game is so overrated. The fact that you have fanboys go crazy over this game.
Yeah.
First off, we're fans.
ear rape should be a tip off, okay? Should be a clear cut.
So this video might be an outlier where he's just doing a bit. But why do I say it's a slim possibility? Well, because he's done 2 other videos on Elden Ring, and while I haven't watched them, looking at the thumbnail, it definitely seems to be negative. But let's keep going.
You go around a huge environment that only serves one purpose. Dark Souls, again, only now it's more open, and suddenly it's different. Are you fucking serious?
Well, seeing as Elden Ring is the first time we've ever had a Souls game take place in an open world like this, yeah, I'd say that is different. Every Souls game prior to Elden Ring had a Metroid.
Done.
Christmas and New Year.
Oh, yeah, misclick.
Thing to it. You didn't evolve. You didn't add new combos, moves, techniques. When you compare Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, complete separation. Compare Devil May Cry 2 to Devil May Cry 3, complete separation. Compare Dark Souls 1 to Elden Ring, the same shit. Almost the exact same thing, except it's more refined.
Yeah, just because it's complete bullshit, he does sort of have a point. It's a really dumb point, okay? Very reductive, this point. But comparison all over the board. That's how I would actually sort of do it. But Thunderstruck, struck in the head, so not going to have a very interesting sort of approach to this. Just, yeah, he might be a troll, but I'm still going to cloud on him anyways because, that's what I have to do to make my living. Find people who come off on the internet as stupider than me.
Or Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring, the exact same, even more similar. That means From Software has not been evolving their formula. Instead, they've been duplicating it because if it's successful and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And
No. Yeah. That's almost a tell. What's his reasoning for the evolving? I'm going to not take him totally not serious. But indication that they are evolving it. Yeah, my sort of Elden Ring spidey senses might be coming out here. And I definitely do want to take a look at the criticism. Ace of Thorn, Quantum TV, maybe putting a little bit of this guy's Elden Ring coverage would be a nice little break for when I finally get off my ass and do the Elden Ring sort of analysis of flaws.
compare Devil May Cry 2 to Devil May Cry 3, complete separation. Compare Dark Souls 1 to Elden Ring, the same shit. Almost the exact same thing, except it's more refined. Or Dark Souls 3 to Elden Ring, the exact same, even more similar. That means From Software has not been evolving their formula. Instead,
But they have. They've done different techniques. This is what makes me think this is a troll. They have the stagger system. They have the new shield sort of counter system. Not bringing up any of that. Just not acknowledging it. Okay. Maybe idiot. Maybe. But more likely just being an ass. Whoa.
they've been duplicating it because if it's successful and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I can't stand that. I think that's bullshit. And I think that honestly, they should really be doing more than just refining the combat. They should be adding more to the combat mechanics. Wow.
Probably because Elden Ring is by far the most refined that a Souls game has ever been. Like, play Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1 or 2, and then go play Elden Ring, and it's a night and day difference.
I'm playing Dark Souls 2, and it's a night and day difference. Oh, sure. They are so similar. It's ridiculous. And they are all similar. And that even goes for Sekiro. Now, I'll give you this. I do like Sekiro, but Sekiro is similar to Dark Souls as well. There, I said it. They're all similar. That goes for Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2.
Whoa. Jeez, such a reductive take. Whew. Sekiro? It could... Okay. Break into the brain. Okay, let me not... Let him do it. Okay. You can't be serious. You can't be that dumb. Okay? Really. This dude cannot be that dumb to think Sekiro. That was like the anti-soul that actually did it. Okay.
2, Dark Souls 3, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1. They are all similar. However, I love Dark Souls 1. I love Demon Souls. All right. So, and I like Sekiro. I like it. I don't love it. I just like it. All right. So I got some From Software games that I got a soft spot for. Does that mean that Elden Ring is groundbreaking? Does that mean that Elden Ring is revolutionary? No. And also, the open world design is pointless in Elden Ring because they don't even utilize it to its actual potential.
First off, the combat system is the exact same combat design.
Oh, he leads into his own thing. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, yeah, but he clarifies it a little bit more seriously. And again, open world, I believe they utilize it to a great degree. Perfect degree? No. Hell, what are the two that get brought up with the open world design recently? It's Elden Ring and not Wind Waker. Got the wrong Zelda, Breath of the Wild. I mean, these are the ones heralded as the truly open world refiners, not the pioneers, not even the inventors, but the ones who do it fairly well. Frankly, Breath of the Wild might have a slight edge on their open world, but it's debatable.
I've seen it from Software games. My God, this is repetitive because if you play Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 1, motherfucker, you played Elden Ring. Ah!
Christ, my fucking ears. Yeah, for the sake of not giving Tinnitus.
Oh, God, how can you not just laugh at it? Be like, okay, this dude, I'm not even going to engage with this. He got me there. Okay. How can I argue with the But this fucking thunderstruck in the head. Fucking autistically trying to get the own here, I guess. Sorry, you can't. Oh, you just look like a retard responded to something like taking that anyone seriously. That part.
To everybody who watches this video, I'm going to lower the volume of this dude's video so it doesn't blow out y'all's eardrums. But back to what he was saying, yeah, the core of the combat design is the same as Dark Souls or Bloodborne, but at the same time, that's kind of how sequels tend to work. But that doesn't mean Elden Ring's combat design didn't.
Oh, again, I forget how dumb fucking Thunderstruck is. He doesn't even deny the shit that gets brought up in any of these videos. How does he have a fan base? He's going to this troll and he's just going to. Okay, sorry. Ending this on a sort of funny, stupid little thing. Well, we'll see. Okay, I'm not going to cover this whole thing. Let's actually jump ahead. Okay, fair use and all. Okay. Oh, here, let's actually get another. Okay, beautiful stuff.
Really help your case if you actually gave examples on what you think Skyrim does that's so good that Elden Ring slacks in. But spoiler alert, he doesn't.
This game is just like From Software linear games. NPCs are stagnant as hell.
Really?
The same thing. Options within dialogue choices. Not only that, but whenever you talk.
Is this guy doing the. Oh, I have to wonder. I definitely do have to check out this channel more. He might have the sort of bait and switch method. Let's see where he goes with this.
To NPCs or NPCs, they have something called a routine. So the actual AI of them as actual routines. In Elden Ring, a lot of the enemies that you speak to, they only say the same quotes of dialogue. In Skyrim, they move around. They have different routines. They move around and do different things. In Elden Ring, it's limited to where you're mainly just fighting. It's mainly about action. It's not about just exploration. Yes, you could explore certain things, but the only thing that you're really exploring is new enemies and bosses to fight and a few NPCs that you talk to for very brief periods of time. That is not the same thing. In Skyrim, you're exploring the entire world. You can interact with that world. That's right. You can craft. You can build a home. You can start a family. You can interact with the environment. And everything you do has an actual purpose. It's not just fighting. It's much more than that. It's an open world, and it even has immersive sim elements. You do not see this level of innovation in Elden Ring because Elden Ring is an action game that put itself in an open environment without utilizing its open world aspects.
It would really help your case if you actually gave examples on what you think Skyrim does that's so good that Elden Ring slacks in. But spoiler alert, he doesn't.
This game is just like From Software linear games. NPCs are stagnant as hell. They only say one quote of dialogue, just like Dark Souls.
Yeah, maybe you'd find them to be far less stagnant if you actually did their quest lines.
Combat, the meticulous movement and fighting, yeah! That's like Dark Souls. The combat system is the exact same combat design as Dark Souls 3. When Dark Souls 3 took the combat design of the...
Is Tarragon not actually going to address that? Okay, sheesh. Fucking hell. Idiot slap fight.
First Dark Souls, and it made it more refined. So if that's the case, motherfucker, how in the fuck is duplicating the same combat system to utilize the Dark Souls 3? How in the flipping flying fuck is that revolutionary?
All right, now to be fair, I have not yet played Dark Souls 3.
Wait a second, you didn't play Dark Souls 3? No wonder why you're so impressed by Elden Ring's aspects. That's
Oh God, the ignorance of Thunderstruck in the head is just beautiful.
Because you didn't play Dark Souls 3 and realize that Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring are fundamentally the same game. Only difference is they plopped you in an open-ended environment. That's it. But you're still doing the same thing you did in Dark Souls 3. Why do you think I don't like Elden Ring? Because I played so many From Software games. I played them. I played Bloodborne. I played Dark Souls 1. I played Dark Souls 3. I played many of them, even Sekiro. And guess what? They're all extremely similar. Really, really similar. And that's a problem. Now you see the reason why I don't like it in the first place. So that wasn't just me saying that just to say that. I was being...
Yeah, completely reductive take from him, okay? Thunderstruck has nothing to come back with. I got plenty, okay? They play similar in their variations off of the same beat. Are you going to say music? I probably shouldn't actually use this. Okay. You're going to criticize music for changing tempo, beat to sort of create new compositions. Really? Are you going to do that? There is definitely plenty of things about Elden Ring to criticize. The repetition of freaking the enemy types, the lack of variation, but the actual design, that's subjective. It utilizes everything FromSoft has been building up to, and even introduce a few new fun mechanics into the mix.
Dead ass fucking serious. That is why I said that. That's why I have a problem with Elden Ring. And that's one of the main issues with that game on a fundamental level. The fact that it didn't utilize its open world design, the fact that it duplicated the same combat mechanics, the fact that it didn't even evolve its own genre after several of their games have already been released. Oh, you don't have to repeat yourself because I discussed the exact same thing in my.
Yeah. How did they not utilize their open world design? Okay. It's never had open world design. Okay. But definitely something I would want to know. Okay. You can't just out of pocket that. But you know what? Maybe you can, no cap, motherfucker. Out of pocket that shit and just stay stuff out. Not like Thunderstruck in the Head is gonna be able to retort to any of this shit. Maybe I should actually just jump to his response to this response. The meta commentary madness is just a little bit lost, but I'm saving this to the end of the stream because this is just, a sort of probably too sweet advice, and that only I'm gonna really get into. But who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? The critic versus creator. This is creator versus creator.
A review. The Ashes of War also spells. I talked about that too. All right. And I've already explained things about that. Now, I understand that the Ashes of War is there, but it's only one bonus attack move. That's like runes in God of War. It's only a bonus attack move. And it has nothing to do with the main combat system itself.
Let's give
I already
this
know
a go.
about stance breaking. I know.
Let's give this a go. I'll give this a like. It's complete and utter trash. Okay, it's not complete and utter trash. It's very simplistic and at least good enough to pass through muster for Thunderstruck's dumb butt. Or head, if you want to look at that way. And he has got a Patreon. That is some ballsy maneuvers. Right there. Right there, right now. Let us see. I just want to see how bad this is. Just take a certain sampling. Let's see how dumb. How's this dude monetized? Okay. He got clowned on by Brother Nier, okay? Rightfully so. Now, I normally don't agree with Brother Nier, but that video, that was at least much fair.
Video on Elden Ring. Yeah, he really wasn't happy about my response that I made to him, and so he made this 45-minute video. The title of this video is called "It's Wrong to Not Like Elden Ring," according to Thunderstruck 115. Which
yeah, let's see how well you handled this, boy.
It's a blatant lie, as I never once said that you weren't allowed to not like Elden Ring. In fact, I even stated in the video that if you prefer other games to Elden Ring, it is perfectly fine. Before we even start the video. The first one is that his title is a blatant lie, as I never once said that you weren't allowed to not like Elden Ring. In fact, I even stated in the video that, if you prefer other games to Elden Ring, it is perfectly fine. The problem, though, is that the criticisms he was trying to levy were really terrible fucking criticisms. Second of all, his thumbnails using the stock
Yes, your counters are even dumber, okay?
image lightning bolt profile picture that I used to have and not my current one, which, I've had for at least a month before I'd even heard of Tarragon, much less responded to him. And third, he's got my name over his profile picture and his name over mine. A+ fucking work, my guy. Now, the last time that I did a response-ception video, I had multiple comments saying that they weren't sure which version of me was which. So to make things simple, the past version of me is the 1.6.
Okay. Thunderstruck is finally up in his game a little bit, okay?
Well, this current version of me is the 1. Dead Space. And just for further clarification, I'll also put one of my sprites over my current self as well. Now, we're gonna skip past the first 4 minutes of this dude's video because it's pretty fucking pointless. He spends about 2 minutes just comparing editing for some reason, and then the next 2 minutes are just my video without any sort of interruption.
That's because your edited is dog shit, okay? You put no work, no effort into your responses, into your editing, okay? You're at least making a halfway decent effort here. Okay, just admit it, move on, okay?
I'd say that is different. Every Souls game prior to Elden Ring had a Metroidvania-style world design.
Squidward, motherfucking sounding bitch, who sounds the same in every video. Why? I can change how I sound however I want. Now, I should speak a little bit more clearly, though.
With the exception of Demon Souls, which had the 5-level structure. Plus, those previous Souls games were a lot more railroaded, whereas the open-world design of Elden Ring gives you a lot of freedom as to how you tackle the game's objectives.
Let's assess the aspects, people, because I'm having a hard time seeing why people put this game up like it's the coming of Jesus.
You're going to sit there and get on my video editing skills because he was like, the video's eh. Later on in the video, you're going to hear him get on my editing and stuff like that. But then look at his editing. Your editing ain't exactly perfect, so I wouldn't talk.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
If you could...
No, he didn't. You fucking put no effort. You throw in these fucking little beams, no decent transitioning, no freaking thing. Oh, it's Thunderstruck in the Head is fucking
provide an example of me complaining about your editing in my original video, please do so, because I never once did that shit. When I said your video was just I was referring to the commentary and criticism you were giving in the video, not your fucking editing. Like the close.
Yeah, he can switch it around to your editing. Okay, it's definitely a good point of criticism for you, man. Okay, not that his editing is anywhere well, but you know he's willing to show his.
Just that I come to making fun of your editing is complaining about how loud the fucking audio is, but even then, I think that's less of an issue with your editing and more the fact that you feel the need to constantly scream into your mic like a coked out banshee. Otherwise, no, I did not say shit about your editing. Maybe Moment of Sanity did, maybe Bataconsa did, but I did not. But you know, while we're on the topic of your editing, I want to give you some constructive criticism for this video. See, I noticed that the logo that YouTube puts in the corner of my videos is present in yours, so that means that you screen recorded it using something like OBS. My suggestion is that you don't do that because then you get a huge quality.
Oh, fuck off! Stop trying to be the biggest geek.
Or
Okay.
railroaded, whereas the open world design of Elden Ring gives you a lot of freedom as to how you tackle the game's objectives. Plus, those previous Souls games were a lot more railroaded, whereas the open world design of Elden Ring gives you a lot of freedom as to how you tackle the game's objectives.
Again, your video editing ain't exactly perfect, so I wouldn't talk.
We heard you just fine the first time. You don't need to repeat yourself.
All right, you want to go, Thunderstruck? Let's go. So, Elden Ring doesn't do much with its open world design. A lot of the open world design inside of Elden Ring consists of a lot of things that have to do with an action RPG design.
Yeah, it's almost like Elden Ring is an action RPG, so of course they're going to make the world design to suit the gameplay.
Not necessarily an open world design. You see, it has an open environment that it only serves one purpose, and the main purpose is action and fighting. The main purpose is not open world like exploration or activities like Skyrim.
Because this game isn't Skyrim, those are two completely different genres. Like, yeah, Elden Ring might have some RPG mechanics, but the focus isn't on role-playing like it is in Skyrim. Furthermore, the way that you say it services action RPG design and not open world design leads me to believe that you think that open world design is something that's mutually exclusive with action RPG design, which is just blatantly false. The whole
Yeah, what the fuck is with that? You're translating for him. He never fucking said that. you fucking trying to get the own on. Let me try to completely twist your words around to make you sound stupider than me. No, it doesn't fucking work. You're a fucking dumb piece of shit. Thunderstruck in the head. Okay. I don't think you should play this game with someone who's this fucking unserious. And the fact your audience eats it up, it's just a testament to their utter stupidity.
design in a video game, which includes design of open worlds, is to service the gameplay mechanic.
Oh, just to be clear, I'm not taking any of this fucking shit seriously. This is a slap fight between two fucking retards, okay? They're both equally as dumb. I think at least this Targon, I'm going to call him that because I call Bakakun that for a reason, and Thunderstruck in the head here. This is just fodder. This is just a waste of time to end up this. You know, you got to have a little bit of fun at the end of, you know, a completely mess Frankenstein of a stream like so many of mine are. So take it as satire, take it as over-the-top hyperbolic humor. I don't care how you take it. It doesn't even matter in the end. None of this matters. It's a retard slap fight.
Something that Elden Ring very much does. And while I haven't played Skyrim, I would assume that that game's open world services the gameplay mechanics of that game. If you were to put Skyrim's mechanics into Elden Ring's world, it wouldn't work. And if you were to put Elden Ring's mechanics into Skyrim's open world, it wouldn't work. Further,
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Okay, why are you going off on these stupid little tangents? Does anyone actually think this is a good argument? Is he saying even that they should be? He just thinks that Elden Ring's too focused, okay, on the combat. And it is. The story is hidden. The sort of lore is hidden. Okay, you just got to admit when the man's right, okay? Give the man his props.
Furthermore, you try claiming that Elden Ring doesn't have open world exploration, which, like I explained in my original video on you, is just complete horseshit. There is plenty of shit to find and do in Elden Ring's open world.
In Skyrim, there are NPCs with dialogue choices,
I mean, at least end it with a decent point, okay?
actual options. There's different aspects to its open world design, and a lot of it has to do with exploration, and it rewards you for exploring. In Elden Ring, it does let you explore, to fight. It does let you roam, to fight. It does let you see new things, to fight. That is literally mainly what they utilize their supposed open world design for. And I say supposed because really, that's not necessarily an open world design that's designed for exploration.
Now this dude is just digging up and switching the goalpost because in his original video he was saying, the open world is only ever used for fighting. But now he's saying it does have a bunch of other open world activities, but now his argument is, oh, but it's all done in service of fighting. Like, dude, I could use that exact same logic for...
It's a variation off of his point, a more nuanced perspective. He went with an angry rant in the beginning. Okay, then he gave it more nuance. You fucking trying to call him out for this shit makes you look like a pedantic little bitch, Thunderstruck, okay? Without much of a brain cell in your fucking head.
For almost any open world game I can think of. For example, in Just Cause 3, the core of the gameplay is killing enemies and blowing shit up. And wouldn't you know, the design of the open world in Just Cause 3 is to get you...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's an annoying feature, but yeah, Elden Ring, it's for more normie fan base. It's more options, more freedom, okay? It doesn't need the fucking institutes of Skyrim, okay? It needs to be what it needs to be, okay? It's a different design. You can't live up to that, but Thunderstruck doesn't understand nuance or much of anything. And this guy, whoa, still trying to do a troll or not troll with this guy because he's got a little bit of that baited switch in him.
To kill enemies and blow shit up. An RPG like Skyrim, you know, the focus is on the role-playing elements, so the open world is designed to get you to engage with said role-playing elements. Far Cry's gameplay.
And Thunderstruck is getting into all these excessive little details that has nothing to do with the actual stupid points being brought out by Targon here, okay? Fucking hell. You need to just gish gallop over a freaking bait and switch rage baiter. It just makes you look pathetic, man.
Revolves around combat and arcade stealth, so the design of the open world is in service of combat and arcade stealth. So naturally, when you have Elden Ring, a Souls game where the focus of the game is on fighting other enemies and its tactical style of combat, no fucking shit, the open world design is going to
Oh, you got the own, man. Shit, shut up.
be in service of that goal. Probably because Elden Ring is by far the most fun Souls game I've ever been. Like, play Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1 or 2, and then play Elden Ring doesn't make a difference.
Combat is the exact same combat I've seen in crossover games. My God, this is repetitive because you play Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls before you play Elden Ring.
Christ, my fucking ears. Yeah, I was sick of not getting to everybody watches me. I'm not going to this video.
How fast do I have to? Oh, wow. No wonder.
Jumping attacks. There's the new guard counter. There's the Ashes of War system. There's also the Spirit Ashes, which you can use to summon a variety of different PCs to help you, which, by the way, is different from the regular summoning mechanic that's been around since Demon Souls. There's the stance rating mechanic. And, of course, there's a bunch of new enemies and bosses to fight. I can keep going on, but I think
Why do they fucking keep doing this on speed? Just cut, you goddamn jackass. But you know, you gotta extend it out. You can't take someone out of context. Put the fucking link in, you fucking coward, and let people go. Put a timestamp. Don't be lazy and just speed things up. This just is fucking infuriating. Maybe it's a counter response to fucking strucking.
It sounds like two robots malfunctioning.
my music sounds like robots malfunctioning. Bruh, if anything, that's your fucking music, since it's probably one of the most generic-ass techno beats I can think of.
The very first time.
Yeah, it's not. I'm going to call it the horse gallop because it's some Vosh level. Okay, maybe it's an insult to say this is Vosh level to both them on a certain front and to Vosh on a rhetorical front. But yeah, this is some brain dead horse gallop in here. You know, you can't do that horse noise.
Souls-like game has ever taken place in an open world. I see. Too bad they didn't utilize the open world design like Ubisoft games have. That's right. I'm here to admit it to you. Go ahead and flame me and call it a hot take, but Ubisoft utilized.
Yeah. Hot take. Fucking Ubisoft. Oh, you just want to be burned at the cross. Okay. Comparing any open world to freaking. Oh God. Oh, this has to be a troll. This guy cannot be serious. Okay. And the fact that Thunder struck his head, can't actually adjust to the seriousness. He has to take it. Actually, do his little fucking horse scalp around. Technically,
this is their open world design.
And yeah, not a very serious person. Should get you too red for this, but ooh, look, racing cars. Took that off. Took this up.
Could be cut out completely, and you could still comfortably fit all the content into the game. Why? Because they blatantly tell you where everything is.
Ubisoft utilizes their open world design.
Hardly. Like 90% of the space in most Ubisoft open worlds could be cut out completely, and you could still comfortably fit all the content into the game. Why? Because
oh God, this is still the dumbest freaking counter to this. Ubisoft design is just so crowded and so messy. Sometimes they utilize it to a decent degree. Typically not, okay? You can cut it. This is such a fucking piss poor.
because they blatantly tell you where everything is, and the rest of the space is just completely fucking meaningless. Whereas Elden Ring actually.
It's not always. I can't believe Thunderstruck his head fucking is getting me to defend the Ubisoft design. There is some things that you can do with the space in between, okay? He just wants freaking. It sounds like he just wants freaking what the hell? Fast travel to all this fucking stuff, which they actually accommodate to a certain degree in Ubisoft games. But there is the journey. Get into a certain place that Ubisoft could actually take advantage of, but typically don't. Oh, so dumb.
wants you to explore its open world. And while I'm not going to say that Elden Ring doesn't have any negative empty space, it certainly utilizes the space it has a hell of a lot better than not just Ubisoft games, but about 99% of open world games on the market right now.
Bethesda.
Okay. Again, he keeps actually making a legitimately decent point, which I don't even think by the time he does his sort of horse gallop around, I don't even know if it's related to the original point he's trying to respond to. The horse gallop.
Utilizes their open world design. From Software only utilizes it for one singular purpose, and that's action. So you might as well have just made it a linear action RPG.
Except then you wouldn't get the benefits that Elden Ring has by being an open world game, like better.
Oh, he's just buying into the premise that Targon is laying out. Okay, there's an expert. There is plenty of other things, plenty of secrets, treasures. If you want to say it's just action and treasure hunting, that's a little bit better. And the fact that everyone always omits the freaking crafting of Elden Ring is just baffling to me. Like, does no one use that for any of their builds? Just lame.
Exploration and more choice about how you tackle objectives. Even if those open world activities are mainly done to service the combat, which is, you know, the whole point of a fucking Souls game, the way the game utilizes its open world to serve.
You're just so stupid because, of course, it's all about combat. No, there's crafting. There's other tactical things. Yeah, it is in the service of combat. The exploration is in terms of combat, but the lore. And a lot of people criticize the sort of pick me up. You need lore masters to put it together. It's a long haul. Yeah, take the story as it is, cryptic, or dive deep into the lore to sort of fill up the holes. Okay. Tempted to make a joke there, but let me not.
Service the combat can't really be done with a linear game, at least not as effectively.
You just said that my video was terrible, but look at your editing. Your editing ain't exactly perfect, so I wouldn't talk.
Oh yeah, let's skip
Is a
over the
very
fucking
large
editing
group of people
argument.
arguing that it shouldn't even be in the same classification as games like Dark Souls and Elden Ring. That is plenty enough for me to
Okay, shut up.
Souls game to take.
Whoa, stand back, everybody. In Elden Ring, you can now jump. You can also crouch and use stealth.
You can jump. You can. Okay, at least he's responded to this properly. Sometimes he uses this sort of fucking little technique to some of the stupidest stuff they can't respond to. But this is a proper use. Let me just keep going.
Yeah, that's something else Elden Ring added that I completely forgot to mention in my original video. You know, thank you, Tarragon, for helping me prove my point.
Yeah.
Oh God, is he actually? What is he taking as a win? Own? They're both retards. They're legitimately retards. Okay. But at least maybe Tarragon here at least is plays into it. Why? Oh God.
And you can't play in different ways, by the way. You can only stealth one time with that one person. Everybody else is alerted, so there's literally no stealth mechanics whatsoever.
Yeah, that's because Elden Ring is not a fucking stealth game, but the stealth mechanics that do exist in the game, however limited they may be, can help you start off the encounter at an advantage. Something that did not exist in previous Souls games. But if you want more in-depth stealth mechanics, go play something like Dishonored.
Now,
yeah, you just passing the buck, okay? You just agreeing with his premise, okay? The stealth mechanics can just get you past encounters sometimes, okay? Think about bringing that up, okay? Yeah, it's not utilized a lot. I think a bitch ass fucking stealth stuff ain't really my style, but I know you can stealth your way through some difficult encounters that you don't want to, but yeah, you could also granted, I'll just run past it with the horse also. There is a lot of ways to avoid combat, which can be a plus or not. Negative. It really depends.
Now, you see, that's why you should have seen my review. I have a review on Elden Ring not being revolutionary, and I pointed out the Ashes of War and said that it's good, but it's flawed. Here's why. Because it doesn't give you new combat techniques. It doesn't give you new combat techniques.
Oh, laugh it off. Laugh it off, Joker. I can do the same thing, jackass. I don't need a soundbite
You
either.
cannot be fucking serious, my guy. The Ashes of War do give you new combat techniques. That's literally what the whole fucking point of the system is. It literally imbues your weapon with a special attack that you couldn't do otherwise. And this system literally never fucking existed in any previous Souls game. Like, Christ almighty. This dude's
Thunderstruck He's fucking struck by stupidity and retardation. Oh wait, he didn't play Dark Souls 3, so of course he isn't aware of the weapon arts of Dark Souls 3. Oh, sorry. Ignorance strikes thunderstruck again because they had weapon art. Yes, it's improved in Elden Ring. Let's see if he'll course correct with that.
Video makes Under the Mayo's take on Elden Ring look intelligent.
It's only a bonus attack move, and you can only equip one at a time.
Now this dude's contradicting his own statement that he made not even 2 fucking seconds ago. Like 2 seconds ago, you said it didn't give you any new combat techniques, and now you're saying it gives you a bonus attack move. Like, my brother in Christ, you really need to learn how to keep that same.
Oh, fucking Griffin fanboys playing out this fucking meme. Dude definitely does fucking meme it up too much. You way too utilize all these fucking memes that he sort of institutionalized because fuck, maybe if you have retarded memes, people won't realize how truly retarded you are, especially with this sort of twisting of the shit. Okay, let him make his fucking point. It might be retarded, but hear him the fuck out before you start laughing him off. Yeah, downright stupidity, and I'm probably stupid for covering 2 retards in a slap fight, but shit. Content in the end is made to be made.
Contradicting his own statement that he made not even 2 fucking seconds ago. Like 2 seconds ago, you said it didn't give you any new combat techniques, and now you're saying it gives you a bonus attack move. Like, my brother in Christ, you really need to learn how to.
Yeah, I can explain this. Sorry, Thunderstruck. You might be fucking stuck in the head with stupidity, but there's some people who considered it more magical means, okay? A special maneuver, okay? I mean, Tarragon doesn't actually fucking clarify, then yeah, he is incorrect, but you're still a dumbass for trying to get a own on the man, okay? Sorry, you look pathetic going for these sort of, yeah, actually, against someone with that fucking rant that he started off with. He's just taking you down this fucking rabbit hole. Maybe your audience is dumb enough to think you're the victor in this case, but shit. Who the fuck cares about the audience who follows a retard like you? Seriously, okay?
To keep that same energy.
So again, I failed to see the fact that Elden Ring did so much with its open world design, and I also failed to see the fact that it did so much with its combat mechanics. Want to try that again?
I literally bring up an example of a new mechanic that exists within Elden Ring's combat that didn't exist in any previous Souls game, and he's still trying to claim that Elden Ring didn't do anything new with its combat system. You know, maybe if the...
Is he talking about the Ash of War again? I might have missed it. Because no, weapon arts, very close. Oh, maybe he'll try to get me on a technicality. Well, weapon arts was specifically designed for that. Well, there are some weapon arts that are stuck to some of the more legendary weapons. The only thing you can just mix and match with the weapon arts now. It's not new. It's an improvement. Okay. Add plus. It's a plus. And plus means better, but doesn't mean it's new. But again, I guess he didn't catch up on Dark Souls 3 since the last response.
Ashes of War system was the only thing that Elden Ring added to the Souls combat loop, then maybe you'd have a point. But I'm about to list a bunch of other shit that Elden Ring did new with its combat system, but you cut me off to make it convenient for you. There's also the Spirit Ashes, which you can use to summon a variety of different NPCs to help you, which, by the way, is different from the regular summoning mechanic that's been around since Demon Souls. There's the stance breaking mechanic. And of course, there's a bunch of new enemies and bosses to fight. I could keep going on, but I think y'all get the point. And then he doesn't even bother responding to any of the other examples I bring up.
Why is this happening? Why are they repeating the same shit, assets, and animations? And why am I yelling?
I don't know. You tell me.
That is beautiful. And why am I yelling? Maybe you should answer that legitimately. He's fucking with you. Okay, dude. Anyone responded to this fucking video is just downright stupidity and trying to get the actual geek own, making yourself look like a fucking fool.
Why you're yelling, but honestly, I'd prefer it if you didn't so that you wouldn't blow out my fucking ears. But as to why they're repeating assets and animations, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Oh, please, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That is a poor excuse for validating game design decisions that just repeat the same formula because it's successful.
I was talking about the assets and the animations in that clip, you fucking troglodyte. I would rather developers spend their time focused on improving the actual gameplay, you know, the part that matters in a video game, more than making sure that every fucking asset is unique or that every animation is different from the previous game.
No, it definitely differs from a lot of people. That's common criticism. Reused assets. Going with the retardation a little bit further. Skip ahead.
You couldn't give any examples of environmental interactivity. Now, what do I mean by environmental interactivity? I'll tell you what I mean. So in a game like Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you can literally throw a knife at a barrel and that causes it to crash and kill other people. Environmental interactivity. In Batman Begins, you can throw your Batarang at an environment or area and you can destroy a bunch of objects or cause a lot of things to collide within each other. Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Are you really not going to counter this? Okay. It's not as complex as all the other stuff, but there is environmental factors to be played. Oh, yeah.
That is environmental interactivity. Batman Begins. That is environmental interactivity. Elden Ring. That does not have that level of environmental interactivity. It doesn't allow...
Okay, he clarifies that level. That hoodie-toody level of interactivity.
You to complete missions in different ways. It doesn't allow you to interact with the environment. That's not in the game. Elden Ring actually utilizes this open world environment for exploration because you asked me to give examples, I'm giving them to you.
All right, this is kind of starting to get on my nerves, but could you please edit out those gasps for breath? But back on topic, if you want examples of environmental interactivity, how about when you defeat Radagon, it summons a fucking meteor which blows open a giant fucking crater in the ground, allowing you to explore the underground? Or
oh, God, he is so freaking dumb. He's talking about combat options with the environment. Maybe I'm missing that. I don't even care to go back. I think that was his argument. I think it's dumb. He does do that little clarification, but it just opens up the world map. If I'm misunderstanding any of this crap, I don't really care.
the fact that there's some castle, I forget which one, but there's a rack of boulders, and if you break it open, it'll roll and kill a bunch of enemies for you.
Yeah, there are many things that FromSoft's been doing from the start. Not very complex. You can sort of get some, especially in the dungeons, you can use the traps to your advantage, okay? It's a little bit better than previous games. I won't swear to none of the Dark Souls actually having the sort of using traps within trap-laden places to do it, but definitely within those little dungeons, that is a factor.
There's a bunch of physical.
Yeah, there's definitely that in other Dark Souls games, but it's there. It's just not to the same level. Why are you bringing up the meteor, though? Okay, was that even his argument? Oh, fucking.
Objects all around the place which you can break open and interact with. So there you go, Tarragon.
Not only does it utilize open world for exploration, but the enemies have actual dialogue and options within dialogue choices. Not only that, but whenever you talk to NPCs or see NPCs, they have something called a routine. So the actual AI of them has actual routines. In Elden Ring, a lot of the enemies that you speak to, they only say the same quotes of dialogue. In Skyrim, they move around. They have different routines.
But admittedly, it would be cool.
A lot of the enemies that you speak to, they only say the same quotes of dialogue. In Skyrim, they move around. They have different routines. They move around and do different things.
Well, at the very least, I can safely say that Tarragon makes one actual argument. A pretty small one, mind you, but admittedly, it would be cool to see the NPCs just doing more shit casually than just standing.
Oh, God. And he goes through his whole little beep, 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 beep.
And of those examples, the only one that was ever in a previous Souls game was power wielding, which was in Dark Souls 2, and only Dark Souls 2. It wasn't in Dark Souls 3, it wasn't in Sekiro, and it wasn't in Bloodborne.
Oh, I don't even care.
Being utilized for Dark Souls stuff. But if you play a game like Far Cry, it's being utilized for open world stuff. That's awesome. You play a game like Skyrim, it's being utilized for open world things or immersive sim elements. You come to Elden Ring, I'm just doing the same goddamn thing with the formula of Dark Souls, and you have an open world Dark Souls game. This could literally utilize all kinds of different elements of the genre, and the only thing it utilized it for was just combat, and that's it.
Yeah, I've already explained how it utilizes its environment for more than just straight up fighting, even if fighting is the main focus, but again.
And that was really retarded. Okay, rehash that, please. Sounds stupid again.
It's a fucking Souls game. The thing is, though, you're trying to take Elden Ring's open world design and force it into a little box of certain other genres. Like, GTA is a sandbox game. The whole appeal is that there's so much shit that you can do in it. While I wouldn't say any of the specific mechanics are incredibly too developed, it's the fact that there's so many of them in one game and you can basically just dick around and do whatever you want that makes it so appealing. Just Cause is similarly a sandbox game, but instead of focusing on a wide variety of activities, it instead focuses on crazy physics and Michael Bay-esque action combat, and just blowing the hell out of everything in sight. So the open world design in that game is a little bit different, as it focuses more on giving you shit to blow up and interact with. Now, you brought up Oblivion.
Oh, sorry. I think my brain melted there for a little bit. Okay, he went off on a completely different tangent that really I wouldn't even have addressed. And like, why do you need to bring up all these other examples? Yeah, GAYMER gamer, man, truly are.
And Skyrim earlier. Those games are RPGs where the focus is on the role-playing elements. So no shit, they're going to make the open world design to suit the role-playing element.
Yeah, no shit. Just go on and on about totally skirted. Even if he does have a retarded point, be like, okay, yeah, you got it, me. Okay, you got me. It's an action game. Why can't action game be an action? Why can't it focus on something? Why does it have to do what other RPGs do? Okay, give me a good reason why it should be something like that. What is the problem with a game focusing on a certain few core elements and not giving all the little side content that actually a lot of gamers annoys them, especially when they work it into the actual story? Eliminate that problem at least, okay?
Those are all Elden Ring's open world gives you a lot of freedom as to how you tackle its objectives. Plus, the exploration aspect that was in some of the previous Souls games is at its best here because of the open world design.
Actually, Elden Ring does not give you freedom to how you tackle objectives. You can't go stealth, you can't go demolition, you can't go all out. You can only tackle objectives the exact same way. You just fight.
That's not really what I was talking about in that segment. I was mainly talking about how different objectives can be tackled in different orders, or the fact that you can even skip some.
Yeah, but this really is way too much of an autistic fight. Autism versus autism, man. Why am I embracing this? You know, why am I adding fuel to this fucking little fire? Okay, waste of fucking time. Okay, really is two retards fighting. How's that going to change anything? It's going to be views for Thunderstruck and maybe growth for both of their asses. Okay, in the end, why? Look at this shit. Oh yeah. Let's look at the comments real quick. Correction. Bill Murray. Is there? Yeah, I think it was Bill Murray said it's hard with a smarter person near. Okay, yeah. Cope. Yeah, two retards fighting. Okay. Oh, insult ad hominem. Okay, I'm sure they would use that against someone. Oh, of course, Kim Josh Ung, the king of crappy takes and not understand what other people are trying to say or do with their videos. And of course, good old Road Beat, Breach the Mechanophile. Really, Road Breach, do not try to actually fuck a car. You'll hurt yourself that way. Okay, actually just fucking just parasocial bullshit. I doubt it would be stupid enough to take me seriously when I clearly indicated I'm not taking this fucking retardation seriously. And I still probably pointed out a few retarded things in both their fucking thing. Oh, yeah. Icing on the cake and having fun with it at the end. So, well, beautiful stuff. I explored. I'm just don't care. Just don't really fucking care enough. I want to go back to Tarragon. Because it's really not going to do anything.
Christmas and New Year were pretty good, and it's just left.
Oh, that is the good old Tarragon. But this guy is just baiting. Bakakun is a dingle who gives bad criticism. Looking for voice actors. Maybe this guy really is just a black version of Chris Chan. Okay. This is giving me some, oh God, furries. Okay. Maybe he is just mentally ill. Okay. I don't know. I have questions about furries. Okay. Moment of sanity. Okay. Where he puts in the little, freaking, British Potato came back with something that just got lambasted by everyone. It's funny. And Thunderstruck, not total. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not a total troll, but that one thing was definitely bait. The Elden Ring thing, bait. Maybe he does a bait and switch on people. I mean, you have some like freaking young Defined will have 2 Zach videos on the same thing saying Elden Ring sucks and Elden Ring's great. That's a clear dictation. So maybe this guy isn't just a troll. That one video he originally responded to seems interesting. Okay. Debunking Cosmo Variety Hour. Oh, that's definitely a good footer there. Cosmo. Oh, overrated. Yeah. Piss off the Doom fanboys here. Okay. Let's at least just take a brief look. This one's funny. Moment of sanity.
Seafood.
Not really. Someone seems like he's got some. What is it? Oh, sheesh! Ouch, man! I can't approve of this, but it just got lambasted. Please review more things. They want the bait king of the world. Okay. Hey, get your subscribers up to have an opinion. Ooh, woohoo! You know. I don't know why these dipshits like to punch down. Are they too afraid to punch up? They're not too afraid. You fucking have when it's the safe opinion to shit on a bigger content creator like Under the Mayo. Okay. And this really not a waste of time. I love how much terribility they gave Road Breach. Yeah, definitely a degen. Yeah, Lolly's cringe. Also, all that degen. I personally have a theory about that. That the freaking identity politics has fucked everyone up. No matter who you are, you engage with identity politics either against it or it's an all-consuming force. But that's just a theory, a social theory, I guess. What the fuck? I don't know. This is utterly, yeah. I brought up the freaking little thing about this. Started off with something serious, went into something no one fucking cared about, even though they really should, about the freaking Worldcon bullshit. Yeah, you care about media getting moved. Okay, look at the source. They get you at the root. Okay, they get the writers on their side, and they can corrupt the whole spear. Okay. Let's hope that doesn't turn the other way, because the other side is just as dumb. Okay. Sensible, reasonable criticism, but yeah. That Frankenstein stream, don't want to make it too long because I really don't got much else to say. Okay. Assume people are going to look at this in the future. Yeah. I mean, I bait the bell with Thunderstruck. It's too much of a coward to actually do this. A moment of sanity. Fair enough. Some shit posting level shit. This guy's definitely doing a bit of baiting, a bit of what sort of furry baited. I don't fucking know. Still waiting for that Alex the Critic response in part 2. I was really hoping it would be out there by now. Okay. Because he really hints there's another person. And it sounds like the video I did on him. You know, he's too much of a coward to actually respond to any of my thing. But oh shit, not Chris Stockman in my brain. Okay, and with this. Oh, and with this particular thing, maybe he's got it, maybe he doesn't. You know. Here it is. This is one I commented on. Okay, yep, closing the book on Starfield drama. 1 month ago, still. He chose to defend as his rant. I would watch a 2-hour, but 2 hours long, much longer than 30 minutes. I wonder who you're responding to next. And I wonder he'll actually do it, or if he's got busy with more important things, or if maybe it's not even my own video. But yeah, I'm curious about this. It'll be content. Last time I did a video, I'm just gonna hit it up with a stream now. But yeah, not really worried about that. Thanks for all who came by to enjoy this utter insanity that I put myself through on streaming. I'll try to have a more coherent sort of stream at some point. But, you know, you got to practice with this sort of stuff. Practice makes perfect, or at least gives fuel to the fodder and gets ideas going. So have a good night, and or whatever time of day you are in. Peace. Bye.